Hi, what's up, y'all? This is Lawrence from My Line of Grind. And in this video, instead of doing some, 3 tips to get XYZ result or 5 things you should do, I want to actually talk about some things that I no longer do. And the reason being is I think that when I reflect on my own journey and a lot of what's helped me get to where I'm at today, which is still very early on in my journey, but some of the big things that have changed, it hasn't necessarily been things that I've actually added to my life. It's actually been things that I've removed. And by removing those things, it has allowed me to free up time and kind of free up that space in my life, whether it's actual time or more just focus, to actually, focus on the things that I want to do, things that move the needle forward to where I want to get to, which, for me, I've got big dreams, big goals. And so these are some things that have helped me get to that place by removing them. Now, caveat, these things are for people that are actually on their path, on their journey to getting somewhere. If you've already reached the top, you've already reached to where you want to get to, and some of these things you can do because it's, your life is in a different place than mine. By all means, this is not something that, I have no shame and, I don't bash people that are doing these things or anything like that. But I do want to discuss what's worked for me to get to where I'm getting to now, to get to where I'm at right now. The first one is Netflix and chill. And when I say Netflix and chill, I just mean kind of the all-encompassing sitting on the couch and just not doing much for hours on end while you binge watch TV shows. Now, for me, all these things are things that, again, I did for a very long time. So nothing is stuff I'm just making up and that I think people should live by or don't do. These are all things that I have changed in my own life. I still do love shows. I still love movies. I still love all the entertainment. But when I looked at, the time I spent actually just kind of just watching TV, watching shows. There's a lot of time. And a lot of it comes down to weekends, of course, that Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday, or going to the movies, more often than not, or watching movies on TV. But there's a lot of time that I was spending just not really doing much and just aimlessly watching TV, watching shows. Now, in the age we live in, there is a crap ton of content out there. Netflix has new shows and new movies all the time. And so it's very, very easy to get sucked into that lifestyle of just, hey, I'm going to watch a show. I'm just going to watch one episode. And before you know, it's been 3 hours. The episode's been great. You binge watch the entire season. And all right, cool. Not that bad, whatever it is. But when you continuously do that week after week, month after month, year after year, there's a lot of time you are wasting by not actually doing anything. It's not helping your life. Now, I'm not completely against this. I still do watch some TV shows now. I still do watch some movies here and there. But I have drastically cut down the amount of time that I spend just on the couch watching TV. And so that has been a big one for me, is just really reducing that amount of time you spend. Now, again, it's also very easy to do with your loved one. So if your partner, your spouse, whatever it is very big on that, it can be very hard to do. If you have kids, of course. I don't have kids. All I have is dog. So I guess I'm a little lucky there right now. But obviously kids like to watch TV. They want their iPad, whatever it is. So I'm not saying don't do these things ever at all. It's just when you are trying to figure out, ways to get more time in your life to do certain things, because a lot of times it's like, oh, I don't have time for that. Yeah, I know, I just don't have time for that. But when you look at what you're doing day to day, there's gaps of time where you're doing shit that you probably could get rid of. And so Netflix and chill is a big one that once I got the change, a lot of time freed up, instead of just clicking on TV and sitting there for 3 hours. All right, start doing something. So that's the first one. The second one is going out to bars, going out to restaurants often, going out for happy hours, going out to go out with friends all the time. Just pretty much started to reduce that, started to spend more time at home, spend more time with my spouse, spend more time with, say, my business partners, and just spend time not just out and about, kind of just doing fun things. Now, I know for a lot of you out there, this may seem kind of like, oh, I want to have fun, or I'm not going to, I'm never going to see my friends again. You are not never going to see your friends again. You're not going to just get rid of this stuff for the rest of your life. Not going out in bars, not going out to happy hours, Thursday, Friday after work, then on Saturdays, going out at night, staying up late on the weekends, all those kind of late nights and just kind of going out and, eating bad food, most likely. Those are things that are going to be a detriment and going to really just take up a lot of time that you could be spending on, could be spending in better use. And so a big one for me also too, because I like to wake up early. Generally, I'm more of a morning person, is when I would, wake up early, go to sleep on a good time, Monday through, say, Thursday, but then Friday night, Saturday night, and sometimes Sunday, end up going out, going to a restaurant or going to a bar at night and just staying up till 1 or 2 p.m., 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. What do you think I did the next day? woke up later, kind of got off my rhythm a little bit, woke up probably a little bit hungover as well, which I'll talk about in a second. But it wasn't conducive to having like a good rhythm in life. A big thing is that I found is you want to try to create that rhythm. And a lot of times it's just getting rid of certain things that just kind of mess up that rhythm. So if you're someone like myself that likes to get up early or earlier, and got to go to sleep at a reasonable time, when you change that on weekends, Friday, Saturday night, you're not setting yourself up for success the next day, right? And so you're more likely to be lazier, to if you're out eating bad foods, eat worse foods, and just not really kind of stay in the game of pushing the needle forward in certain things in your life. So that's number two. Number three, which kind of goes with that one as well, is just binge eat. Now, for me, I love food, and so as a coach that focuses on nutrition, I'm not someone that's very dogmatic about, oh, don't eat this food, that food is going to kill you, never have it again. The human body is very adaptable. From what I've learned and how I treat my body, I think I treat my body very well. But at the same time, I still like donuts. I still like to have a bowl of cereal here and there. I still like to do things that I really enjoy. It's just much more limited. So, but for me, back in the day, a few years ago, my weekends were mostly spent just kind of eating whatever I wanted. And I did that on purpose because in my mind, back then, before I realized how to do this, back then it was, hey, I'm eating good during the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday up to lunch. I would, have my meals. It would be good meals, whatever it is, nutritious meals. But then on weekends, hey, this is my time to do whatever I wanted to because I, ate well 5 days a week, and then those extra 2 days a week, I can have whatever I want and I'll be fine. Clearly that did not work. That's another video there. But basically, that going out on weekends, just eating whatever I wanted, this was terrible. Not having a plan of getting the right nutrients, getting the right amounts. And again, number two was going out to bars, that kind of thing. A lot of times that went hand in hand for me. It was going out to a restaurant, drinking, eating bad, going to another restaurant later that day, say, that was lunch. And then for dinner, it's, oh, let's order pizza and then binge watch Netflix. Or, oh, let's go out to this other bar tonight and go to, stay out until 1 a.m. and then get some late night food, on the way home or something like that. And so it all kind of just trickled in together. But a lot of it was just eating whatever I wanted to, but not actually looking at what I was eating and how much. And that added to that next day feeling like crap, but then wanting worse foods later. So doing that again, and then having to break out of that cycle Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Thursday, and then Friday back into it. And so as you see, it's just this is very cyclical, right? Now the last one, and this is the biggest one, and I know I've made videos on this before, but for me was just getting rid of alcohol. Now anyone that knows me knows that I was someone that likes to drink. I don't think that I'll give up alcohol for the rest of my life. Again, I'm on this journey upwards, and I think when you're on the journey up, until you get to kind of the space that you want to get to, which we're all different, but until I kind of get there, which probably take a few years, alcohol is just no longer in the picture. Because one drink turns into 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can't stop, right? And I've had times, of course, where I was able to, only have 2 beers and then go to bed and whatever, I was fine. But the vast majority of time, it was enough to make me stay up late, make me binge eat, make me, next day wake up slow, wake up late, be more sluggish, then want to kind of have the, the hair of the dog, whatever that phrase is. And that just turns into another day of drinking kind of thing. So alcohol is definitely by far the biggest thing I got rid of that has helped my life. And again, it's not only when thinking of alcohol about like, oh, the actual alcohol itself, it's bad for your body, it's poisonous, it's ruining your liver. And those are all, of course, very good reasons to stop drinking alcohol. But I think a lot of people forget is that alcohol just, kind of like has a domino effect. It just creates a lot of other bad actions after that. So when you drink, you're more likely to eat bad. You're more likely to, if you have a spouse or something like that, you're more likely to maybe get in a fight or be just in a bad mood or something like that, or get ticked off over something. You're more likely to wake up later. You're more likely to not get a very good sleep, which sleep is a huge thing. So alcohol has all these other kind of cascading effects that I think a lot of time get overlooked because we focus on, oh, alcohol is, it's bad for the liver, it's bad for your body. But at the end of the day, I feel like, again, there's plenty of people who drink and die at the age of 90. So I feel like alcohol definitely is bad, but at the same time, just looking at the straight health effect, I think is not enough. I think you need to look at what else does alcohol do in your life and to your life that, again, doesn't push you forward in your goals. This is all about what can I do to push myself forward towards my goals. And for me, and I think a lot of you out there, alcohol is probably the biggest one that, even if you don't drink a lot, is really, really a big blocker for you in your life, just because you come home after work and oh, let me just grab a beer and just sit on the couch for a little bit, and that just turns into a whole night of just not doing much, right? Then you probably eat worse food, you eat more because that's what one thing alcohol does. It can allow you to eat a lot more food, more bad food. Then on weekends, let's go to a bar, go out. Okay, yeah, go out with friends. Hey, no harm in that. Have a few drinks. Most likely, it's let's go over here to this other bar, or let's go to some other food, or let's get some dessert. You just start making worse decisions. And again, those decisions just add up over time. It's not I drank one day and then the rest of my life is ruined, or hopefully not. Obviously, it does happen to some people. But it's more so just the combination of all these decisions compounding over time that just don't push the needle forward in your life. And then you realize, shit, I don't want to be here right now. And then you got to change, right? So Netflix and chill, going out to bars, happy hours, just kind of going out just to have fun. Binging on weekends, pretty much kind of all day or just a few meals a day that really add calories and just don't make you feel good. And then the biggest one is alcohol, which is kind of a factor in all those as well, or can be a factor that kind of lead into all those as well. So it really comes down to, these things are just catalysts to be more unproductive in life. And so what we're talking about now is, getting away from that. Oh, I'm just too busy. Oh, I don't have time. Oh man, I'm just, I can't do it right now. Just, man, I wish I had more time. When I get more time, I'm going to do that. You have more time. It's just a matter of what in your life can you give up right now that, is going to allow you to have some more time. And so for me, those are the kind of the big things that I gave up that gave me a lot more time. And then lastly, in terms of, I think, a question that I asked myself to kind of start knocking these things off my list, and I think this can actually help you guys kind of do the same thing, start figuring out like what things can I give up. Obviously, alcohol is an easy one, but at the same time, there are plenty of people out there that are very successful and still drink. People that are on the rise and doing very well and still drink. But if you're someone that can't control it as much, or you notice that you're drinking more than one night a week, more than a few drinks, most likely alcohol is not good for you, right? Alcohol is not adding to your life in a valuable way. Even if you think it's, I'm just taking some stress off. I just want to relax. It's not going to help you relax. It's not solving any issues. You think it is, but it's not. So the question is, what am I doing? Or the question to ask yourself is, what am I doing right now that is pretty much only for pleasure and is not actually adding to my life in any valuable way, or pushing me in my life towards the goals I want. Again, we all have different goals. We all want to be in different places. So whatever your goals are, whether it's fitness related, health related, relationship, business, money, whatever it is, and all those are kind of connected in a way. But if you look at what do I do that's pretty much just for pleasure and doesn't do anything else, most likely you'll be able to knock off a few different things. And when I look at myself, or I look at my life and all these things I just listed, they're all things that pretty much just add pleasure. That's about it. Netflix and chill. I'm not in Hollywood. I'm not in movies. So me watching a show is basically just for me to relax and do nothing and just have fun, have pleasure. And not saying that that's bad in life. Again, all this stuff is not things you just have to completely get rid of the rest of your life. But when you're on that journey upwards, these are things that are pulling you back from really moving forward as fast as you can. Because at the end of the day, time is ticking. That's the most valuable asset we have is our time, and that shit is ticking. So these are all things that just don't actually add anything but pleasure to my life. And it kind of goes in the hand with the 80-20 rule. So this is a concept in 10X, the book 10X is greater than 2X by Ben Hardy, and I'm already forgetting the other guy's name. Not Dan Sullivan, but he, or maybe it's Dan Sullivan. I have the book over here. My fiance is reading it right now. But he talks a lot about basically the 80-20 in terms of, the 80% of your life that you're doing right now is most likely what you're going to have to get rid of, because those are things that aren't really adding to your life. And that 20%, you want to become that 80%. So if the 80% for me is a lot of time Netflix and chilling, a lot of times on weekends drinking, eating bad foods, all that kind of stuff, and that 20% is, say I want to create more content, creating more content, going to the gym, doing a few things that, actually are beneficial. It's okay, let me get rid of Netflix and chill, a little binge eating and drinking, going out on weekends. And that 20%, now I have all this time to actually spend doing that 20%. So that 20% now becomes that 80%. And before you know it, you've done a lot more in life. And then you kind of repeat that cycle of, okay, now what else can I get rid of, right? So it's really just about freeing up time in your life by getting rid of some of the things that don't push you forwards towards your goal. So hope that was helpful. Ask yourself that question of what is it in my life that is just for pleasure? And most likely those are things you can kind of either give up for a little bit of time or at least reduce that will free up a lot more of your time. And once you start doing some things that you want to do, you will see that you're much more happy in life. You're much more kind of fulfilled because you're actually finally going towards that dream, that goal you've been having, and figuring out like, holy crap, this is actually working. So hope that helps, and I will see you next time.